Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Happy Friday, everyone.
Yay.
We've made it to the end of the week. And Black Friday today, which is our question of the day. Do you think Black Friday is as big as Boxing Day?
Right.
What do you think?
I don't know if it's there yet, but I think it's probably going to get there. I've just already noticed within this year it's a bigger thing than even last year.
I think within the last 5 years, because I feel like we'd never actually had Black Friday before. So, well, you'd still have time to weigh in on our question of the day, so make sure you let us know if you got any good deals out there. We want to know on our Facebook page. But right now we're going to go check in with our Brett Holden to see where he's at tonight.
I'm here at the rooftop campout at Lloydminster Fire Department Station number 1, where there will be up to 30 firefighters camping out on top of the fire station for the ALS Society of Alberta. We'll be talking to some of the firefighters as well as some of the organizers and some people from the ALS Society as well. But first, let's head back into the studio and see what's going on with them.
Great, thank you so much, Brett. Well, with the recent pulling of romaine lettuce off the shelves, there is one local company whose lettuce will remain on the shelf. Lower Shannon Farms, north of the city, says the way their products are grown, that prevents the growth of infections like E. coli.
And where we are different is our water comes from a tested well. It goes into our reverse osmosis system. It goes through 5 filters, so 2 UV, 1 carbon to get rid of the odor, and then 2 micron filters to get rid of the sediment.
One of the possible reasons for the outbreak could be how many ways the romaine lettuce is handled before packaging, as well as the soil that the lettuce is grown in.
Typically, anywhere local, you can get it where it doesn't, where the risk is lowered, because typically it is a controlled environment, and the people who handle the product, it goes from the table to their hands straight to the package, and then the package straight to the store shelves or the market shelves.
There have been 22 cases of E. coli in Canada and 30 cases in the States. The grand opening of Lloydminster's second cannabis store will be at a very familiar time tomorrow afternoon. 4:20 p.m. will be the House of Hybrid's big opening this Saturday. The shop has been a long time coming since becoming licensed last February, and after many checks and balances, they're ready for customers.
AGLC has been pretty good to work with overall. Obviously, the biggest concern that everyone has is supply of the goods and the products. Hopefully, they're coming up with ways to make that process go a little more smoothly.
On top of having bud tenders, the shop will feature iPads for customers to order from as well and educate themselves on the product. House of Hybrids is located at 6601 43rd Street. And the Lloydminster SPCA is having a Black Friday sale for some of the forgotten felines. Due to there being so many black and gray cats left over from the Feline Frenzy, the SPCA, all affiliated pet stores are hoping to bring attention and find forever homes at this event.
Basically finding our little black ones here, all their new homes, and the gray ones too, obviously. But yeah, just basically finding our kitties their new forever homes, because some of them are our longest residents, so we would like to see those ones especially go home sooner.
12 kittens are still available for adoption. And now we're going to check in with Brett Holden, who is live at the rooftop campout.
I am joined now by Chief Jordan Newton. And Chief, could you just tell me a little bit more about tonight's event and this weekend's event?
Yeah, so this weekend marks our 6th annual rooftop campout in support of the ALS Society. So members of the Lloydminster Fire Department will be braving the elements. Fortunately, the weather does look like it's going to be good this weekend, but we'll be camping out on the roof of Fire Station 1, raising some much-needed funds for the ALS Society of Alberta.
So this is the 6th year for the event. What's just kind of the importance for you seeing from last year to this year for yourself?
Well, most importantly, I'm just really proud of being a part of this community. This community has always supported this event and this fundraiser. The ALS Society much needs these funds. Some of the funds go to research, while other funds go to buying much-needed medical equipment for people diagnosed with ALS.
For you yourself, really quickly, how did you prepare for bracing the cold this year?
Well, I'm sure I'm going to get stuck on the roof, so I will make sure I bundle up and brave the elements.
Perfect. So just in a little bit, we'll be talking to some more of the participants as well. But first, let's head back into the studio and see what's going on in weather.
All right, thank you so much, Brett. Currently sitting at -6 for those firefighters braving the cold. Feels like -11, so could be worse. At least we're not sitting at -30 like back in 1985. That +7 would be nice for them, though. As we look to our satellite radar, a couple patches of precipitation coming in from the west. We have about a 20% chance we could see some of this scattered in throughout the area overnight, but nothing too major, and roads should stay clear, and no watches and warnings currently in effect. As we look to the map, to the numbers, a little bit cooler than we were seeing yesterday, as we saw a little bit of a cooler air roll through the area. So -6 here in the border city, -4 in Edmonton. That's the same number in Edson. As we move up the map, a little bit cooler, -5 in Whitecourt, -7 currently in Cold Lake. No numbers pulling in for Athabasca, though. Meadow Lake -7 currently. Prince Albert also sitting at -5, -4 in Melfort. Saskatoon sitting at -2 and -4 for North Battleford, which is where we will go right now. Currently sitting at -4 overnight, dipping down to -13, so it's going to feel quite chilly. And then factor in the wind, already gusting up to 24 kilometers an hour currently. So those gusts of wind could be feeling a little chilly. Also could see some precipitation, just scattered precipitation into the overnight, possibly continuing into tomorrow, but nothing major. -10 tomorrow in North Battleford. -7 currently in Cold Lake, -13 overnight, and then -9 with a continued cloud cover tomorrow. And again, Cold Lake is currently under that also could see some scattered flurries overnight. -6 in the border city, dipping down to -13, so those firefighters are definitely going to want to bundle up. Tomorrow not getting much warmer, -10 for the daytime high, -13. 25% chance we could see some of that scattered activity continue into the morning, and then possibly scattered throughout the day tomorrow, but only a 25% chance. Sunday we'll see the sun come back out, -5 there, and then Monday -6. Could be in for a little bit of snow next week, but I'll have those details for you coming up a little bit later.
Welcome back. As temperatures get colder, it's tough to say let's go outdoors and have some winter fun. Gerard Lampau makes some kids or meet some kids who are not only doing that, but learning some important life skills.
4-H is awesome!
For many rural communities, a good way to keep kids engaged is through the 4-H program. 12-year-old Maya Weber has been in 4-H for 5 years. As simple as this project looks, they are removing dead, dry, and possible combustible material from their area.
We are building sculptures out of snow and twigs and other stuff like that.
And what are you building over here?
We built like a barn with a house and a fence here and a feeder with a cow in it.
This is only our second project that we've done. We've had a couple of book meetings, but the first one that we did, we went fishing. My husband actually has a boat, and so we took all the kids on the boat, went fishing.
The Hunt family are invested in the 4-H club, and it makes a big difference in the lives of these kids. Spencer Lang is now in his second year.
It teaches us like things about like don't break down like the new trees and like trees that are still alive, and also about like things like we went fishing earlier in the year, and then we learned about like some fishing safety.
Even that simple fishing trip has important lessons to learn. The 4-H programs run from September to May and wrap up with public speaking and an achievement day. It's hard not to get involved in these activities. Gerard Lampau, Primetime Local News.
Saskatchewan's premier is heading to India to talk about the steep tariffs levied on the province's pulse exports. Scott Moe hiked tariffs on chickpeas to 60% in March, and Saskatchewan is India's largest foreign supplier of lentils and peas. India is Saskatchewan's third largest trading partner and imported about $1.1 billion worth of goods last year. Moe says his trip will be led by industry leaders who have operations or interests in both India and Canada. And an Ontario cannabis producer is recalling one of its products from the province's online store after it received complaints of mold. Recan, which is based in Nigeria region, says it's recalling its BEC strand from the Ontario cannabis store. The company says all the complaints related to the 3.5 gram bottles of the product with the lot code 4B2L3. And in a statement, Redken says it's issuing a recall of all batches of the BEC and sending the 7,400 remaining bottles of the affected batch for testing. That's it for your egg news. Sports is next, but first we'll take a look at your egg prices.
Every member of the City Centre Auto Body team has been through extensive training. We're constantly upgrading our team's education to reflect current collision repair technique.
Switching over to your local sports now, the Lloydminster Bobcats have a key homestand this weekend against the best of the AJHL has to offer. Tonight, the Brooks Bandits, best team in the South Division, are in town for a 7:30 puck drop. Tomorrow, they will face off with the Bonnyville Pontiacs. And the Lakeland Wrestlers volleyball teams host their final matches of the first half of the season this weekend against the Augustana Vikings. For the first time in years, there are massive standing implications for both squads. Following their loss to King's University last week, the women need a sweep over the Vikings to maintain a first-place tie with the Kings heading into the Christmas break. Meanwhile, the Augustana men have the same 6-4 record as Lakeland, meaning the winner of the weekend could gain solid footing for the third seed in the North Division. The women's matches begin at 6 p.m. both tonight and tomorrow, and with the men following 30 minutes after the conclusion of the women's matches. And the provincial championship hopes of both Lloydminster high schools either fail or succeed tomorrow in Fort McMurray. The Holy Rosary Raiders' fourth straight meeting with Cochrane High begins at 11 a.m., while the Lloyd Comp Barons face the Holy Trinity Knights and a chance at the perfect season at 2:30. And now we're going to send it over to Brett Holden, who is live at the campout.
I am here joined now by Brad Martin. And Brad, how long have you been participating in this event here?
Well, this will be my 6th year, and we're really looking forward to another great event this year.
So we kind of talked about off camera about the weather and some of the stuff that you guys have had to brave. Do you have any stories that come to mind for yourself?
Well, you know, the weather's looking good for this year, but definitely our coldest was we had in the -30s. And with that wind chill, I tell you, this tent is just a canvas tent, and as that wind gets whipping through there, we were turning into popsicles for sure. So hopefully the weather holds out for us this year, hoping to have another fantastic year. As far as stories, I recall sleeping up there, I'm not sure which year it was, but a bobcat stopped and was honking their horn on the front apron of the pad at like 4 in the morning. This kind soul was out plowing the streets and making Lloydminster safe for everybody. He's out there doing some work, and he stops by, honking his horn, wanting to make a donation. We got up out of bed, lowered the boot down so he could make that donation.
I thought when you said bobcat, I thought you meant a genuine bobcat. And I was like, whoa, how did it get on the roof? But let's also talk about maybe if some people don't or aren't able to come down tonight, where else can they donate?
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to have firefighters out in local grocery stores running from 11 a.m. till 5 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. So crews will be out at Safeway, Superstore, Sobeys, and the Co-op Marketplace.
I also asked Chief Newton about this as well, but what are kind of some ways for you that you've used to get ready for this event?
Well, we've we've all seen the viral sensation of the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, right? So a few of us at the fire department here have actually participated in that in years past. But really, that was our warm-up. We got cold once, now we're getting ready to do it for 3 whole days. So, yeah.
Perfect. Now we'll have a little bit more from here at the fire station, but first let's head back into the studio and see what's going on with them.
All right, thank you so much, Brett. Luckily, the weather's gonna be okay for the firefighters this weekend. Starting it off, though, with this gorgeous shot of these pine cones with that frost that we were seeing the other day. Super beautiful shot. Thank you for sending that one in. As we look to the numbers, currently sitting at -6, feels like -11 out there, and there are some patches of some light freezing drizzle in and out of the area, and that could continue into the overnight. Nothing too major, but definitely keep an eye out on those roads as they could become a little bit slick as we move on throughout the night. -4 in Vermilion, -5 currently in Vegreville, -4 in Edmonton, and as we move up the map, a little bit cooler, -6 for St. Paul and Bonnyville. Cold Lake sitting at -7, that's the same number in Pierceland, -6 in Lac-La Biche. As we move on to the Saskatchewan side, a little bit cooler, sitting at -9 in Isle Cross, and as we move down the map, -6 in Meadow Lake, -7 for St. Walburg, -6 in Maidstone, and a couple of -4s in Provost and Macklin. As we look up north, even cooler into those double digits. Buffalo Narrow sitting at -10, -10 also in La Loche. La Ronge a little bit warmer at -6, or -7 rather, -6 in Flin Flon. Fort McMurray sitting at -9, -8 in Slave Lake, -5 currently in Grand Prairie. And as we look down south, currently sitting mostly above the freezing mark, so 0 degrees in Medicine Hat, 2 degrees in Lethbridge, and then as we move up a little bit cooler, so -2 currently in Calgary, -1 in Banff, -4 in Coronation, -3 for Kindersley, and -1 currently in Regina. As we look to the numbers tomorrow, gonna be a little bit cooler, even more so than we saw today, and that cloud cover is going to continue. We have a 40% chance we could see some flurry action tomorrow into the overnight. So -10 for Lloydminster tomorrow, -9 in Maidstone, -10 also in North Battleford, -10 in St. Walburg, Meadow Lake. Vegreville going to be sitting at -6, -2 for Edmonton if you're headed there for any of the Grey Cup festivities this weekend. Going to be not too bad weather-wise. As we look to our 7-day forecast, averages are -6 and -14. So we're a little bit below, but then we're going to get back on track for next week. So tomorrow hitting -10 only as the daytime high, -13 as the overnight low. 25% chance we could see some flurries on and off throughout the day. Nothing too major, and then we do have a 40% chance into the overnight. Sunday, -5 for the daytime high, -12 for the low. Monday, -6, -11, and then Tuesday, we could start to see some rain, snow mix into the overnight, continuing into Wednesday, and then that cloud cover is going to continue. Should see under 2 centimeters of snow, though, so nothing too crazy. -10 on Tuesday for the low. Wednesday, -4, -7, and then cooling back down. -7 on both Thursday and Friday next week. -10 on Thursday for the overnight low, and then -12 next Friday. But like I said, we are experiencing some patches of some light freezing drizzle right now, so do be cautious out on the roads if you are hitting them tonight.
And now we're going to send it back to Brett, who is at the Fire Hall campout live right now.
I am here with Don Sheely, who's a firefighter here. Now, Don, when somebody comes to donate, what's kind of the process here?
Well, we have several options. We have members out in the street holding up traffic with signs that say rooftop campout on them. They got boots out there, so we're collecting money from the boots. And we have the brave men in uniform up on top there with the boot that comes down. If you want to bring your kids down here, we'll lower down the boot and you can put your donation in there, cash or a check made out to the ALS Society of Alberta.
Perfect. So right now we're not only braving the cold, but we're also braving some distractions here just to our right. But when people do come to the station, what are some other things that they can do when they're here as well?
Well, the station's going to be open from during the day all weekend. Sorry, they can come in, have coffee, meet the firefighters. If they have any questions about firefighting or what we do, guys will be more than happy to answer those questions. We love having people and kids in the station. It's good for the families. It's good for the fire department.
And for you, how long have you been participating in this event?
This event, I believe this is the 6th year that we put this event on. So it's been actually 6 years that have went by pretty quick. It's amazing to think that we're on year number 6 right now.
And for you, maybe just a memory that you have.
I think it was about 3 years ago when it was like minus 48,000 out, and there was lots of guys up on the roof. They ran out of propane. It was the middle of the night, and it was quite cold, and but they stuck it out. They stayed up there, and I'm glad it was them and not me.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. We'll be back in a little bit talking to some more firefighters and people affected as well. But first, I'd head back into the studio and see what's going on with them.
All right, well, today is obviously Black Friday, which I feel like is a pretty relatively new thing for at least Canadians. If you haven't crossed the border to go do that before. So our question of the day today was, do you think Black Friday has become as big as Boxing Day? You're saying not yet.
Not yet, but definitely getting there.
Yeah.
I think I've noticed it even within the past 2 years of it being more of a big thing. I've definitely participated this year in Black Friday, and I think what is crazy about it is even before Friday even happens, you're getting the emails of the sales online and stuff. So I did Black Friday shopping on Wednesday, so it's kind of a bigger thing that's getting dragged on more and more.
Exactly, and I feel like that's kind of like Boxing Day as well. Like, you don't really need to go out for that day anymore. It's kind of becoming weeks, and I just want to read a couple of the comments that we got on our Facebook page. Kevin says, personally, Black Friday seems to be taking over Boxing Day for sales. The deals seem to be bigger, and it's hyped more. So, which is true. I feel like we've been seeing a lot of advertisements for it. Lindsay says no, Boxing Day has the best deals. They have 50% off all the Christmas stuff. So that's always a good time to stock up. And then Andrew says no, it's just a cash grab. Even with the markups at high, they're just putting it on sale to make huge profits. So it's an interesting debate. And then we did put out a poll, and our poll actually got quite different comment or different results than our Facebook page did. So 83% of you say yes, it is as big. Okay. So yeah, but I feel like for these sales, you're really the biggest things are on electronics.
Yeah, totally. Electronics, and I find just the timing of it in itself, people are like, I have to buy Christmas gifts now. So it's like, oh, I should do this right now because then it's done and the deals are now. And so I just think it's more of that urgency and that rush to get things done that makes it almost as big of a hype, maybe?
Yeah, but then there's Cyber Monday on this coming Monday, and it's just
it's out of control.
It's just every day's a sale, and you got the best deals. Yeah, exactly. You still have time to weigh in on our question of the day, so make sure you do so on our Facebook, Twitter page rather. But right now we have our pets of the day, and at the end of the 6 o'clock hour, we will be announcing this week's winner. So this is Nova. Nova's a plant.
Gardening.
Just Nova likes to garden. Super cute. That was sent to us by Carolyn. Thank you for sending that one in. This is Berkeley. Berkeley's going to work.
I
know. He's so handsome.
He works so hard, I bet.
Works very hard. Good boy, Berkeley. That was sent to us by Jesse. This is Sashi, and Sashi in the sweater is 17.
What?
Look,
wow.
She looks great.
Yeah.
Sashi
hasn't aged a day.
No, Sashi looks fantastic, especially in that sweater. That was sent to us by Donna.
Cute. Yeah.
Next up, we have Pedro. Look at that smile. I mean, that's just, I just want to kiss him.
Yeah.
That was sent to us by Dawn. And then look at this. We have a pig. This is Finnegan. Finnegan's being a good boy eating his vegetables.
I feel like Finnegan is a great name for a pig for some reason. I love it. It's so good.
Great name, yes. Thank you, Leanne, for sending that in. Make sure you stay tuned because we will be announcing this week's winner at the end of the 6 o'clock hour. But if you would like to see your pet here on Pet of the Day, make sure you send us a photo. Please include their name, and if you do see them, you'll be entered to win a $50 gift card to the Lloydminster Pet Pad.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to have them featured on Pet of the Day. Your name will be entered into a weekly draw for a gift certificate from the Pet Pad.
Hi and welcome. I am joined with Jerry Duhame of Carlson Travel Agency here in Lloydminster, and just kind of wanted to talk today because travel is so popular around the holiday seasons, kind of the questions and the process of going through a travel agent. So if someone wants to use one and have never done that, what are the kind of services and things that you can help someone use for travel?
Well, thanks for asking. We've been in the business over 45 years and built a huge clientele up. And the reason people come to us is because we have the answers.
Right.
And they don't have to worry about when they travel. We're a person, they can contact us at any time for any issue that they have. Plus, we've been to a lot of the destinations. We've been to a lot of the properties. We're in contact with our sales reps and the various destination reps constantly, and we're updated all the time about what's going on, try to keep on top of it. So when you come to us, you're really getting advice from people who've been there.
Yeah, you're just eliminating the uncertainty of traveling to somewhere that you've never been, basically.
Absolutely. We haven't been everywhere, but we're spreading out more and more. One of my staff have climbed Mount Kilimanjaro.
Wow.
We've had other people who've been to Thailand and to Cook Islands. We've kind of spread out all over the world.
Yeah, and with that, I find a lot of people, when they do travel, they kind of stick to places that are common, places that they know, that are more familiar. But with using a travel agency, can they kind of suggest, and maybe they know of different places that are popular at a certain time, or somewhere that they maybe can suggest a different location with a similar feel of what they want?
Absolutely. When people come to me and a typical family and they want to travel to somewhere, for example, Disneyland, and they want to go at Christmas time, although that's a really neat time to go, it's also the absolute most busiest time of the year. So we try to counsel them and say, you know, if there's any way you could move it a little bit, either before or after, it would make your vacation so much better so you're not standing in line all the time.
Right.
And a lot of people now come in. I think a lot of people like a little more adventure in their vacations now. So they'll come in and say, where can I go where, you know, I'm off the beaten track a little bit. I'm not with 3,000 other people at the same resort trying to find a lounge chair.
Yep.
And there's places like Costa Rica, which are phenomenal. They're eco destinations where it's not the beaches so much. It's the flora, the fauna, the cloud forests, the rainforests.
Yeah.
There are renal areas where there's volcanoes, live volcanoes. You're seeing something you'd never see at any of these other destinations.
Yeah.
So those are fun places and fun things to talk about.
Right, absolutely. And with the travel, it's not just necessarily booking the flight. If someone wants to do those adventures and things like that, are they able to reach out to an agency and kind of they can give them suggestions on which companies to go through when booking those adventures?
Absolutely. We have companies that specialize in adventure travel. And some are soft adventures where you can go and not have to do any hiking or trekking, or there's some that it's all it is trekking and biking and having fun like that. We do it all. We can look after that. We have people who specialize in that a little bit and have taken some training, and we have one of our staff who've done a walking tour and wine tasting tour of Italy recently.
Amazing.
So you see things a lot more when you walk than you're in a bus or even driving.
Yeah.
And personally, driving is the least, you'll see the least amount because you're focusing on the road, or you should be, and you're missing out on a lot of things that you could see.
Yeah, absolutely. So unfortunately, some people can't really avoid traveling in the holiday seasons. They're going to see family, or that's the time that they can take off work. What are kind of your suggestions to people who do have to travel around the holidays?
Well, I think if you know you're going to have to travel around the holidays, your best bet is to book early. Get the best fare that you can, get the best times that you can, and focus on that.
Right.
The other thing we want to tell people is make sure you have your documents in order. The worst thing is to arrive at the airport and find out that your passport expired yesterday.
Right.
Or it's going to expire while you're on vacation. It just throws a real ruin into your vacation.
Absolutely.
And we've had some wrecks with people who tried to help them out who unfortunately didn't check until too late.
Right.
And it really does spoil your vacation because the airlines will not board you if you don't have a valid passport.
Yeah. Absolutely. So I guess the best thing to do is to plan ahead when you do have to travel around the holiday seasons. That is all the time we have today for the interview, but thank you so much for coming in and giving us some holiday tips this season.
Hey, what's going on? It's Pete Jackson from Boom 95.3, and here's what's happening in Cold Lake. And we're actually going to start over in Bonnyville, and coming up Friday and Saturday night, it is Yuck Yucks making its way to the Centennial Center in Bonnyville. 2 great nights, 3 comedians each night. You can get supper ahead of time and stick around afterwards for a musical performance by a band called the River Jacks. Let me tell you, it's a great opportunity if you've got a smaller business or a smaller group of friends that want to get together and kind of do a pre-Christmas party or something like that, and take all the planning away from it. Let the Centennial Center do that for you. Yuck Yucks Saturday and for Friday night as well. For more information on this one, you can go online, centennialcenter.ca. Coming up next weekend, it is the unofficial kickoff to the holiday season in Cold Lake with the Santa Claus Parade coming up on Friday, November the 30th. Right now, they're looking for participants to enter in their best Christmas-themed floats. And for more information on this one, you can go on the city's website at coldlake.com. The Santa Claus Parade starts at 6 o'clock on November the 30th. If you've got an event you want featured on What's Happening, shoot me an email, pete@boom953.ca.
All right, well, for tonight's entertainment panel, we have very, very special guests. The Dirt Rich Band joins us here on Primetime Local News. Want to thank you guys for making the time and coming in studio today.
Thanks for having us.
Busy guys. So it's been an exciting year for you guys, and especially the last few weeks. I want to start off with, you guys are up for 5 ACMA nominations. I just want to read through them. So you're going for Group of the Year, Fans Choice, Single of the Year for Without Trying, Song of the Year for Without Trying, and Video of the Year for I Dreamt This Up. So what does that mean to be recognized? How cool is that?
It is pretty cool.
It's awesome. Yeah, it feels really good. Kim Capperell from town did the video as well with Nara Studios, so it's pretty cool that he's in for a nomination on that as well.
Yeah, and why do you guys like partnering up with local people?
We're from here. We always try our videos. Like our last video we put out, we made sure that Kid Scotty's water tower was in it. You know.
We hope people support us, and we support others around here.
Yeah, and Fans Choice. I mean, that's a pretty cool recognition. Just to even be nominated. So, what does that mean to you guys to be in that category?
I was shocked with that one, actually. when I saw that, I was really pumped because that speaks volumes. That's people actually going on there and getting their membership and voting, so that was really cool.
Nice. So you guys are playing tomorrow at the Lloyd X. It's sold out, but what can people expect from the show, and how is it different when you guys play something local versus something on the road?
When you're playing on the road, you're playing covers all night long. You know what I mean? You're sneaking in a couple of your originals, but when you're at home, people actually come up and want you and expect your original, so that's, for me,
that's a big thing. Yeah, it's nice. And the energy thing too, playing for locals, they're our fans, and it sure builds the energy when you're on stage.
Oh yeah.
And what's the support been like from the community over the last few years for you guys?
Amazing.
Really good. Really good. Yeah. Betty Evans.
Oh yeah.
Person on earth. She was
biggest fan.
Really?
Biggest fan. Yeah.
That must be pretty cool, though.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, awesome. And so. You guys, what else do you guys have coming up soon over the kind of holidays? You guys have some shows coming up that people can go to?
Yeah, we're going back home. Me and Dallas are originally from Spiritwood, so we're heading back there for an ugly Christmas sweater party, cabaret style deal. And then we got a little bit of time off. We're playing at home for New Year's in Kit Scotty. And then we're back to Nashville for a week, the beginning of January, to finish our second album, which we're pumped to have new music out for everybody. I think it's been a little bit too long. So.
Yeah, and so that's really exciting. And you guys were in Saskatoon recently. So what can people expect from you guys over the next year in this new music?
10-song album, maybe 12-song album is coming out. I don't know, the new songs we wrote when we were in Nashville, we're pretty excited about them. They get the feet stomping, so
wrote with some really cool people down there, and it's still our sound, but it's evolving, right?
Yeah, and why do you guys like to go down to Nashville to do that?
It's inspiring to go down there and meet people that, like, when we write music up here, it's always been like, okay, you write part of a song and you get, halfway through it, and it's like, well, we'll come back to that. Down there, it's like a 3-hour writing session, and you know, it might go to 3.5 hours, but when you come out of that room, you come out with a tangible product, which is really cool.
Really cool. All right, well, we look forward to that. Unfortunately, we're out of time, but we look forward to the new music up in the new year. So thank you guys so much for making the time, and unfortunately the show is sold out tomorrow, but plenty of chances to see them around around the area. So thanks, guys, for coming in.
Thanks for coming.
I'm now standing right out front of Fire Station number 1, where you can come down and donate for the firefighters on top of the rooftop here for the ALS Society of Alberta. They will shoot down a boot for you, as you can see right here as I donate some money, and they'll shoot it right back up to those of you just up top. Awesome. So in a little bit, coming up in the next hour, we'll be talking to some people from the ALS Society of Alberta. But first, let's head back into the studio and see what's going on with them.
So glad you got some mitts out there. We were worried for your phalanges there, Brett. Currently feeling like -12, so not too bad for those firefighters. Going to be chilly over the next few days, though. -10 tomorrow, -5 on Sunday, so they have a warm up to look forward to. -6 for Monday. Tuesday is when we could start to see some precipitation starting into the overnight, continuing into Wednesday for a high of only -8. Thursday -6, and also -6 next Friday, which is the average for this time of the year. So yeah, definitely go out there, brave the cold, go donate to those firefighters so they can get to those that $30,000 goal. Yeah. But it's now the time of the show where we announce our winner for this week's Pet of the Day. So let's see who our winner is.
Oh, we don't need the drum roll anymore.
No, we don't need the drum roll.
Yeah.
Here we go. Who is it? It's Natus!
Oh.
Look at that. Hopefully Natus will be a little bit more happy than
I was going to say, I feel Natus is the one pet who really needs this gift card to just cheer him up.
Yeah, he needs a hat made out of grass, maybe some treats.
Yeah,
but
treats and
so Janet, you got a $50 gift card to go spend on Natus at Lloydminster Pet Pad. So very exciting.
Awesome.
Yeah. Look at that.
And Black Friday shopping, perfect.
Yeah, maybe there's some
deals,
like a little scratch board, maybe a little salmon treat.
Just go to town at that.
Just go to town.
I love it. I love it. That's honestly my favorite shopping is to shop for pets.
Yeah,
they're always happy with what they get.
Maybe
easiest shoppers to buy.
There you go.
Yeah.
You can never buy a bad gift for a pet.
It's true.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well, everyone, have a great weekend. Go visit the firefighters out on the roof over the weekend, and we'll see you right back here on Monday. Have a good one, everyone. Be safe.